and welcome back. Thank you for standing by, my friends. Welcome back to Dragon's Lair. This is well, I've never beaten this game, so this is technically still my first playthrough. I have worked on this game over the course of 11 different nights. This will be night 12, if I have counted correctly. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out and complete it blind, so I'm not looking anything up. And if you know anything about the game, do not tell me, please. Because I'm sure there's a lot I still haven't figured out. But we'll see, we'll see. It's been several weeks since I've even made an attempt at this, so I've probably forgotten a lot. And every time I game over, I'm going to spin the wheel, at least up to 5 times. So, I'm anticipating a very spicy night. So I knew this game was going to be bogus going in because it's got a reputation for being horrific that I don't think it's possible to miss. And I had seen this first screen before. I don't think I'd seen it played out, but I knew what the game was going to look like. And that it was like a cinematic platformer. So I knew it was going to be a bad time, but I really underestimated how bad it was going to be. I did not anticipate spending 12 nights on this game. And I still think that at even my best run, I've probably barely only seen a small portion of the total content, which is something I hate to think, but no, we're still working on Disaster Report. We're gonna play that again on Tuesday. I forgot about the snake. Disaster Report's good. That game's a lot of fun. I could see how I can understand if someone didn't like that game, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. Please don't hit me. One of the abilities that you have is to use a candle. That's what your meter on the top left that says C by it. That's your candle meter. And if you're in a dark area, the candle lights everything up so you can see what's going on. But if you're in a bright area, the candle will make hidden items appear if you're standing under a hidden item when you activate it. And you just have to find those through trial and error. So that's the thing I'm primarily concerned with having forgotten about the game, is where those hidden items are. Yeah, I'm making plenty of progress on Disaster Report. I'm not stuck on that one. Disaster Report's not very hard. It's like, that's the thing. It's not very challenging, and it's not very open, unfortunately. I wish the game were more open, but I'm still enjoying it regardless of its limitations. Last time I saw you were at that park. Was that a park? I don't remember what the park is. I don't know. I don't remember where I left off. I had to climb. I had to do monkey bars. That's alright. That's the last thing I did. Oh, amusement park. Yeah. Yeah, I was stuck at the amusement park for a while. Well, we got unstuck. I made progress again after a little while. There was a boat or something that I didn't know I could interact with. But I figured it out. Yeah, that's another problem with Disaster Report, is there's a lot of objects in the environment, and some of them you can interact with, and some of them you can't, and the game doesn't distinguish between which is which, so you just have to walk up to everything and push the button, and you don't, you can't really tell if, like if you walk up to something and it doesn't let you interact with it, it's like, well, I don't know if this is something I can't interact with, or if I was just standing a pixel off when I went up to it, and now... It's easy to get stuck from stuff like that. Let's go. The extra life respawns. You'll love to see it. At least the game's honest. It says GG right away, so you know you're not going to make it to the end. Yeah, there's a GG right there. You're right. Let's pack it up. So all that said, it sounds like there's a lot of bad things about Disaster Report, but it's still fun to play. It's kind of like a Resident Evil or a Silent Hill type game, just with no enemies, and a little bit more like straightforward. So it's hard. It's easy to know what you have to do. So hopefully the sequel will be improved in some of these ways. But we'll see. How's progress been going in this one? It hasn't been going VHS. I took a long break from this one. I'm only playing it every now and then. I'm not really improving. I kind of just play it once every couple weeks so people can't accuse me of giving up. But I'm not really doing any better, and I'm not enjoying myself. That's for sure. I do want to beat it. I just don't want to keep wasting time on it, so it's a difficult balance. It's like when I was stuck on Jump King for a long time and not getting anywhere. So I didn't want to play it very much. Hey, Duck Something, welcome in. There's a ROM hack to make this easier. I'm not surprised, but I would have no interest in playing that. I want to conquer the challenge of the real thing, or not at all. It's a mix between chill and challenge. You might play the ROM hack making it harder, though. If I liked the game, I probably would. I mean, who knows? Maybe if I make it to the end, I'll change my opinion. Maybe if I beat it, it'll become one of my favorites. I'm like that sometimes. Sometimes when I beat a game, sometimes I hate a game all the way to the end, and then I beat it, and it goes on my favorites list. Favorites list is a little bit of an exaggeration, but that did kind of happen with, there's a life here? Let's go! I don't think I ever knew about that life. That's a new discovery. No, I forgot where the jump button is. It's alright, I found an extra life. And my weapon got downgraded, so, you know, life is good. Something I just cannot stop complaining about vis-a-vis this game is, jump and attack are reversed. And for whatever reason, I cannot wrap my brain around that fact, and every time I end up in like a tight spot and have to react quickly without thinking, I hit the wrong button 100% of the time. It's maddening. I just want him to win so I can play the PAL version. Yeah, I might do that, too. I'm probably not going to play any ROM hacks, but we did talk about I might play the PAL version. Once I clear this one. I'll definitely try it. I don't want to commit to beating it, though I probably will try to do that too. Ooh, I jumped way too early. That's my fault. I did that part completely wrong. Oh, hey Tommy, welcome in. Hope you're doing well tonight. I still did that part wrong. 2 years later, I haven't given up, guys. Well, what did Jump King take me? Jump King took at least 2 years to beat. I think it took 3 years to do the whole thing. Why? That wheel is creeping up fast. Get the life. Jump. No way. Wow. What did I do? Big character, realistic movement, unintuitive controls. Is this realistic movement? I hope there's no one out there that has to move like this all the time. Poor soul. Compared to Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Nobody should play this game. It's not fit for human consumption. Alright, so now we've got to spin the wheel. And we have to listen to this music the whole time. Alright, this is our makeup spin for The Secret of Monkey Island. Number 6. Spicy garlic. Another 2 garlic ones back to back. So, is spicy garlic more or less hot than kickin' garlic? I guess we'll finally know now. Sorry, I know that crinkling has to be really ugly to hear on the mic. I think the spicy garlic is way weaker than the kickin' garlic. So now we know. Because, like, yeah, this I don't think is really any hotter than what you just find sitting on the table at kind of any restaurant. Just your regular Tabasco or Louisiana sauce. I like it, but it's kind of nothing after the other one. It's so similar, just not as spicy. I don't get it, Frownie, with the wheel backlog. Why Dragon's Lair yourself? Well, I figured this is a game where I'll game over a lot. And so it's convenient for the rule of spin the wheel every time I game over. It's a convenient way to spread the backlog out and still take care of them all at one time. Oh, you know what? I have to say, Budafingers, you've been knocking it out of the park with the home-cooked meals. Thank you for sharing the pictures of those. I was looking at your pizza earlier, and I was like, you know, I really like mushrooms. I really should work up the courage to try to have mushrooms on pizza. But it's really hard for me to combine any kind of produce with dairy at the same time. I think at best I would make a pizza with mushrooms as a topping, but then I would pick all the mushrooms off and eat them before I eat the rest of the slice. I think that's probably the best I could get. The closest I could get to having mushrooms on pizza is if I could pick them off cleanly. I don't think that quite counts. But I do really like mushrooms. If you put the mushrooms under the cheese, you can't excavate. I don't think I like when toppings are under the cheese on pizza in general. I think I'm a toppings on top of the cheese kind of guy. I love garlic and spicy food. It sounds odd to me to combine them. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh my goodness. Oh, I have so many things that combine. I use garlic and habanero peppers in so much of the things I cook. Like that's usually like my like go-tos are garlic, onion, bell pepper, and habanero pepper. Like if I'm gonna make a pasta sauce or a chili or a soup or like those are the things I reach for to start so many different dishes. I did have to saute those mushrooms before they go on the pizza. Yeah. Yeah, I think you'd want to. Because you really want all the water cooked out of them first. And the pizza doesn't stay in there long enough to really accomplish that job, right? You make it sound pretty tasty, Frownie. Yeah, the pizza's only in the oven for 3 minutes max. Yeah, I know it can't be that long because those pizza ovens like 1500 degrees or something. Oh no, I bit into an apple that had molded on the inside today. Spent like 5 minutes washing my mouth out. Brutal Pokemons. I never bite into an apple. I always slice my apples up. 8 to 9. I know I was exaggerating at least a little. I watched someone cook a steak in a pizza oven. I think theirs was at 1200. They said it didn't come out very good though. I have a broiler for steak that goes to 1500. In the video I watched, they seared the steak in a pizza oven and then finished it in a conventional oven. And then they said at the end, the guy said at the end that he thinks that was the mistake. And that he should have just done it for longer in the pizza oven. But I don't know. I've never experimented. And I wasn't tasting it, it was just a video. Hey, Shadowplay, welcome in. That was a lot of hits. That dragon takes forever. That dragon takes forever to wipe out. I have a Tuscan grill that will fit in there, but barely. An old cast iron skillet. I just dumped some charcoal in, slide it under the grill now. I can post some pics of that if you like from the summer. Again, yeah, I'll check those out if you want to share. I've just got a charcoal grill myself. It's one of those like barrel style ones. It's got a hinge on the side. It's like a barrel, not like the egg grills, but like it's like a barrel tipped on its side. And I've been getting a lot of good use out of that. I underestimate how much charcoal I need to get it as hot as I want it, though. So I've had a couple misadventures where I found myself having to start a second chimney of charcoal part of the way through the cook because my heat's bled away too much. And I haven't had any results from it that I have actively disliked, but there's definitely been a couple times where it's like, I could have done this better. Very much prefer the overslung broiler for steak. It comes out so good. I just use a pretty standard. It's just a regular brand. King something? Kings. I don't know what the full name of it is. It's King something. Kingsford, yeah. Yeah, that's it. I just use that one. I haven't experimented with, well, I've tried out 3 different kinds of charcoal. I got these weird hexagonal tube charcoals. I got a bunch of those on clearance a couple years ago, but I really don't like it. It's annoying to light. It takes forever to get it burning properly. I don't know what the brand is. They're packaged all fancy like though, so I imagine that it's supposed to be really expensive, but I got it dirt cheap and still overpaid. And I've tried the Kroger brand charcoal, but I don't like it. It makes the food taste like chemicals. It makes the food taste like gunpowder. Or what I imagine gunpowder would taste like. Lump charcoals where it's out. The stuff looks like wood. Yeah, and I have used, I don't know what the brand is. I have used another brand that's, yeah, all the pieces are like, it looks like chunks of wood. They're all irregular pieces. I don't know what brand that was. It was some kind of natural. It was some kind of natural thing that I got. And that, I feel like that was pretty alright, but I've been fine with just the Kingsford bricks here lately. Our own Jealous Devil brand. You can get it at Home Depot, I think. Jealous Devil. And that's a lump charcoal. Uploaded one of my coolest gaming moments ever in Breath of the Wild. Sometimes that game has moments where I even question if I'm that good. I posted on the Discord right on Pokemon's. Check that out later. Kingsford bricks are useful to pinch, but they're essentially poison. Cooking gets me chatty. I'll stop talking your ear off. I mean, I'm not bothered at all. I just, you know, I like to think I'm something of a cooking hobbyist as well, but my range is pretty narrow. I like to cook the particular things that I cook, but I'm pretty limited in what those things are. No! I didn't jump. And a bunch of Fogo charcoal, also like that stuff. I had to order it online. I don't think I've heard of that brand. I did have to get good before I started all the fancy outdoor stuff and equipment. I don't think I would get my investments worth out of a pizza oven if I bought one of those. Like, it's something that like would be on occasion a fun novelty to have, but I don't know that I would get good return for investment. But I would like a setup for cooking with a wok over one of those jet engine flames. I would like an industrial wok setup. That I could maybe get my money's worth. Someday I'll invest in some of that. Saw Kevin Smith yesterday at a comedy club, sat like 15 feet from him, EpiPen says. Very cool, inspiring guy, right on. I'm pretty familiar with Kevin Smith's earlier stuff. I watched a lot of it with my buddy in high school. but somewhere along the way I kind of lost track of what all he's done. Is it actually faster to move on all fours? You might actually move a little faster when you crawl. It seems to be safer to crawl over breakable floor. Is usually the only reason that I'm crawling is because I'm worried the floor is gonna break, and I think I'm less likely to die. I don't really try to get a speed advantage from it. I can't stand this game. I don't know what's coming up next. This okay. Should have jumped. Fogo brand is popular in Texas. Basically the same. Did a binge last year, mostly caught up. A few in his universe of movies. I think that's supposed to be an I haven't seen yet, though. If you decide you didn't want to play this game anymore, I wouldn't blame you, Pokemon says. It's torture. Give it another 6 months if need be, but you have my permission to call this one a lost cause. I mean, if I could beat Jump King, I can beat anything, right? Surely I'll get through it at some point. It's hard when the game robs you like that on moving platforms, though. I know you can beat this. Thank you for the vote of confidence, VHS. I gotta spin the wheel again. Alright, so our next spin is gonna be catch up for Decap Attack. Number 2. That's 4. Number 2 is beer cayenne. Alright, I feel like this is also I feel like this is a dud of a sauce. This is a family-friendly stream, no drinking. I think we're safe. I think it's just artificial beer flavor. Yeah, so this is strange because I actually like it. It's really sweet. It does not taste like any beer I've ever had. It's but it tastes smoky. It tastes like a good barbecue sauce. It tastes like a really pleasant, smoky, sweet, spicy barbecue sauce. I think I would enjoy a full-size bottle of this too. It's the kind of thing that you would want to have on like ribs or something, I think. I regret calling it a dud of a sauce. I misremembered. It's much better than I thought. Terrible twos, not in this case. I owe an apology. I lost my train of thought. If I mean, I know you're just making jokes. If I suspected it had alcohol in it, I would have to have it not on my list. I'm a teetotaler, so I wouldn't want that on. I wouldn't want that to be part of my set here to land on. I worked a long time ago. I worked briefly in a liquor store, and it was a terrible job, and I was terrible at it. But one of the things that they do is they send in decoys every now and then that are underage to make sure that the cashiers aren't selling alcohol to them. And a decoy was sent in to me while I was running the register. And I sold to them, and the cops who had sent them in were really upset, but they weren't upset with me because they were upset with the decoys because I had sold to them because they had come in and bought non-alcoholic beer. It's the only good story. It's the only good story I have from that job. Everything else about that job was horrific. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Bush's. I think was it Bush? It started with a B. Some brand. They had a non-alcoholic variety, and that's why would they? They didn't know any better. They weren't. They weren't thinking. They were probably. They were probably super nervous to be doing it. Yeah, so that was amusing. The cops sent them in blind. No walkthrough, no tips, no hints. They're playing Frownie style. uh, Hey, VHS. Yeah, I could send you a. I can send you a Discord invite. Be happy to have you join us there. But I need to whisper it to you. I don't think I have a mod available to send it to you right now, so I'll have to whisper it to you after the stream. Can I do it? I don't think. I think only mods can grab invites. I appreciate the offer, Pokemons. I don't think it's possible. I think you have to be a mod in the Discord to generate an invite link. Or however it works. But yeah, we're pretty much happy to have anyone that wants to join in the Discord. It's just we just hand out the invites through the DMs though, like individually, so I have an idea of when like someone new is coming in. Basically. Any progress? No progress yet, Omega. Haven't even tied my PB so far, but the night is young-ish. I got at least another hour and change to try. I'm fairly efficient at clearing these first 3 rooms, and then I'm really terrible at the rest. Hey, Master Tuesday, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Port Dragon's Lair to the Tiger Electronic handheld? Surely that already exists, right? There's gotta be a Tiger Dragon's Lair. It exists. Tuesday. I've been rereading The Hobbit, and I'm about a third of the way into the book. I haven't read it in a very, very long time. But there are 2 things that I noticed that are small things. And one of them is... there's one part really early on when all the dwarves have left, like the day after the unexpected party. And Gandalf discovers that Bilbo hasn't left with them. And he lets out an exclamation. He says, "Great elephants!" And that was just interesting to me because I thought that elephants were something unknown in Middle-earth at the time, because in The Lord of the Rings, the orcs ride on the Oliphants, which are elephants but not, right? So I didn't think it was weird to see the standard word elephant appear in The Hobbit. It's because I didn't think they existed in Middle-earth. You know, as at least not as elephants. And I might be wrong. I'm not super well versed in wider Tolkien lore, but I thought that was strange. And then there's later on when they first meet the goblins. There's like the narrator generally describes like what goblins are like, and it talks about how they have a love for gunpowder and explosions. And I don't remember, because I haven't read The Lord of the Rings since high school, but I do know in the movie it seems to indicate, and I know the Peter Jackson films got a ton of differences, but it seems to suggest in that film that Saruman invents gunpowder. And so then to describe the goblins as being fond of it seems strange, because it's like, does it exist yet? But even if that were the case, if Saruman invented gunpowder, which I don't think is true in the books. I think that's just a movie suggestion, but and I may be over inferring. But even if that is true, at that part where it's describing goblins in The Hobbit, it's kind of taking a long view of time anyway, because Tolkien seems to suggest that goblins are responsible for modern, real-world weapons of war. At least to some degree, that they have an influence in, that they have some responsibility for influencing man to design various weapons of war, which would be more modern. So that part was odd, but not necessarily an anachronism, because he is taking a wide look at time in that passage. It was just interesting. Those parts just stuck out to me. Probably, I don't understand them as well as lots of other people. What game would you describe as the antithesis of games you would absolutely hate playing? What? My guess would be an open world RPG with icons of dialogue and a lot of menus. Oh, so not the antithesis, like a game that has everything that I would hate. The antithesis of everything I would love in a game. A lot of tutorials, held your hand, yeah. Something like Xenoblade Chronicles or The Witcher 3. I played a little bit of The Witcher. I didn't get very far. It was very, very talky. I felt like I didn't hate the time I spent with it, but I didn't spend much time with it. That was a long time ago, before I ever even streamed. Was a GBA with a disc tray to let you watch movies? That's pretty wild. I actually think you're right, however, there is a piece of lore that smooths that over, maybe-ish, Tuesday says, about the elephants. If you know it, you're welcome to share. I'm okay with Lord of the Rings spoilers. I already read the books. I'm gonna try to read through. I'm gonna try and read through the whole thing, but it's difficult to probably won't do it all at once. I'll probably read other shorter things in between. In between the books. Wasn't Gandalf using it for fireworks? Yeah, I don't know about Gandalf's fireworks. I do like. I know he makes. I guess you would have to assume he would be. I didn't know if Gandalf's fireworks were a product of science or magic. Have you heard of the Wheel of Time? I'm thinking of starting that series soon. Yeah, I have heard of it. That's a massive series. It's like 15 books or something, isn't it? I actually read the first few chapters of the first book. Um, just kind of sampled it like a decade ago, and I feel like I liked what I read of it, but it was too much of an investment of time to commit to it. So it became one of those I'll go back to it kind of things that I never made it back to. With a lot of like fantasy series like that, like those like long running fantasy series, I have book one of a whole lot of those series on my bookshelf, and I just never get around to committing to any of them. I've got that. I've got like the first books by like Brooks and Goodkind, and just a lot of those like fantasy authors. I got their first book. I think I've got a copy of Dune somewhere. Wheel of Time kicks in after 100 pages or so. Oh no, I'm not gonna survive. Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, so yeah, Tuesday. So in the lore, if okay, so yeah, if Gandalf was there and saw at creation and saw all of history, then yeah, he would see elephant. He could see and know about elephants before they technically come into being. Wizards have arcane knowledge uncommon to most. The Vistion Dockable Entertainment. Sorry, I missed a lot of comments and I'm now reading them out of order to try and catch up. I read 15 Dragonlance books in the past few years. I'm ready for something different. I haven't read any of those, but I think I have. I think I have a couple, at least one of the like anthologies of. That's Salvatore, right? At the same time, he got lost in the mines of Moria because he didn't recognize where he was, so your mileage may vary. On the third Good Kind book, I kind of hate how dark those books are. I still read them anyway. Hated those books, but kind of like the show, EpiPen says. This spot here, I am always terrible at, but I have made it past at least a few times. Have to share some of your nightmare stories of working at the liquor store sometime? I mean, I really don't. Aside from, I really don't have any stories about working there aside from the one that I shared. There's nothing much in particular. Just a bad environment to work in. You just see a bunch of people like. Bunch of people with really rough lives, not doing themselves any favors, and it's not fun to be a part of that process. So it was a pretty miserable job. And I have a pretty moderate attitude toward alcohol, like generally speaking or whatever. Like, I think it's a thing to be, to be enjoyed responsibly and in moderation, but it's a, yeah, it's a very dangerous thing at the same time. Yeah, death is the first boss. Hooligan's works are also supposed to be read like ancient histories, rediscovered in the modern day. You could interpret the anachronisms as the embellishments of a modern day storyteller. Bilbo also talks about golf and has a modern clock in his home. So I didn't really think anything about the clock. Golf I remembered, but golf is included with a fantastical backstory. So, it wasn't really it wasn't like that didn't really bother me as an anachronism that, like, you know, that like there's a real world sort of time and place where golf probably, I mean, I don't know the history of golf, but it didn't bother me that golf is given a fictitious backstory in The Hobbit. I was more curious about things that seem to be out of time within the story's own internal logic. Worked at McDonald's, seeing some people come in. I wanted to speak up and say this isn't the best food. There's better food out there, Pokemon says. Oh, we need to spin the wheel, right? I game overed. Alright, so this spin is makeup for Scooby-Doo Mystery on the Genesis. Number 9. Number 9 is Tequila Pineapple. We have both of the alcoholic beverage inspired sauces next to each other. We have both of the garlic sauces on the wheel next to each other, and now both of these next to each other. The wheel is following like themed patterns. Yeah, we did. I did. The Scooby-Doo Mystery kind of has two separate games. It's two separate games in one, and so I'm gonna spin for both of them. I mean, it's one game, but the two chapters are like completely individual games. And like when you beat them, the credits roll separately and everything. So I'm treating them like two individual games. We're gonna spin twice, but I beat one each night, so it actually wasn't bad to get through. I got really stuck both nights in each game. It was really annoying to be stuck, but yeah, I was really not happy, especially of night 2. If I was really hating it, it was probably night 2. The very final solution was infuriating. But we made it. I think I'm actually gonna finish this sauce. Ooh. No, I don't like it. It doesn't remind me of tequila, and it doesn't remind me of pineapple. It's actually fine that it doesn't remind me of tequila. I don't like the taste of tequila anyway. Oh, but it doesn't taste good. It tastes off. It tastes like something that's supposed to be sweet, but has just gone off. I don't like that one. I knew Frownie really didn't need the crackers. I didn't see any. I didn't see any reason to leave half a dose in the bottle. Te banana pila? Oh yeah, yeah. That, you know what, that would might not be a bad comparison for what it tasted like. The banana peel flavored hot sauce. I feel like I slipped on a banana peel. Sampling that one. Not good. I'm not happy with it. I'm glad it's gone. Good riddance. So what was that, number 9? Alright, so if I land on 9 again, I have to respin, because I don't have a replacement for it right now. I mean, I have a replacement for it, but I don't have it nearby and on hand. But what are the odds we hit the second one? We hit the same one twice, right? Probably pretty good. Best book series I read in a very, very long time. Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think someone that I know IRL was reading, not someone I know real well, but in a very vague acquaintance type way, I think was reading those books. I was kind of third party to a conversation where he was recommending a book to a friend that I think was that series. Put some hot sauce on pizza. Tried all the hot flavor, all the hot ones flavors. Was considerably mild. Turns out the flavor really hits a lot harder on a cracker. Don't know why. Maybe molecular texture things. Really did it after trying the cracker. Well, I imagine if you had it on pizza that, like, dairy kind of counteracts spicy, right? So maybe the cheese was getting in the way. Just mix ghost pepper powder into the tomato sauce. Gives it a lot of kick. Welcome in Necromantia. Cracker thinner. My crackers are Triscuit, plain wheat crackers. I figure for our hot sauce, my idea was to have an edible delivery method, but something that was very bland, so it wouldn't contaminate the experience of the hot sauce too much. Alright. Let's make another attempt here. I don't know that I've actually made it all the way through a lot of book series. And even the ones that I have, I haven't necessarily read every installment that I possibly could. Right? Because like with the Lord of the Rings, like I still like there's a lot of other like Tolkien stuff that's related to them that I've never made my way through. Like the Unfinished Tales and Silmarillion and such. I've only read the four, the Hobbit and the trilogy. I read Stephen King's Dark Tower series, but he's since added to that another book that I haven't read. I read David Eddings had two series, the Belgariad and the Malloreon. I read through those, but there's two companion novels to those that I never made it through. I read those books in high school, and I really enjoyed them, and there's stories that are like... There's stories that are kind of special to me in a lot of ways, but I've also since learned that the authors, David and Lee Eddings, were... they seem to have been villains in real life, so... if there are things you want to consider reading for yourself, if that's something that's going to dampen your enjoyment, then you should know in advance. The Dark Tower series is officially completed as of 2012. Is it? Because I read the... I don't know, is that when the... 2012 seems like a long time ago. When did I read those? What came out in 2012? Was that when The Wind Through the Keyhole came out? Is that one that old? That's the one I haven't read. Actually, you know what? I never read, I didn't finish the Dark Tower series. I never read Wizard and Glass. Which is the one that most people say is the best book. I read the first three and the last three. I forgot. I never read the middle one. The Wind Through the Keyhole is the last one. Well, I mean... Stephen King is still alive and writing, right? He could always change his mind and write another one. The Dark Tower 7 was the last one until it wasn't. I started to read. The Wind Through the Keyhole at one point, but I didn't get very far. I was really annoyed that he wrote it in with a first-person perspective when none of the rest of the series is written that way. I have a habanero with ghost pepper sauce I found I really like. Lots of spice and flavor. Ah! This time I went crazy with spiciness. See how high of a level I could reach. Nowadays, I just like to use enough to get the flavor I like. Turns out I like ghost pepper flavor a lot, along with chipotle and paprika, Zergling says. I like ghost peppers a lot too. But I don't know how much of it is I like the flavor, how much of it is I like the heat level, and how much of it is I just like the name. Sauce has a very earthy flavor. The name. Yeah, I think that, yeah. Ghost Pepper's a cool name because it's spooky. Oh yeah. I mean, he his writing like definitely changes a whole lot, like from book to book. Well, I mean, like the first book's kind of its own thing, and then 2 and 3 are kind of kind of their own thing, and then the last 3 are kind of their own thing. They're all real. They're very different. I can't speak for the 4th one. I don't know what, if any, of those it feels like. The first 2, I think, were my favorites in the like there's parts of all of them that I enjoyed pretty much, except maybe book 6. I don't think I remember anything from that book. But I think 1 and 2 are my favorites. I only read the first one in its like original form. I know he published a revised edition at some point, but I never went back and read the rewrite of it. Habanero is the guy who shows up at the party, is decent enough, brings a decent gift, but not the most exciting fellow. Ghost Pepper is the clown who shows up for 15 minutes, does an awesome show, and leaves. The only sauce I've been using lately is barbecue sauce. Sick of eating dry rotisserie chicken. I'm a big fan of chicken, but dried out chicken is kind of the worst. This part right here, this level, is just abysmal. All I do is bleed lives every time I get here. I don't know what it is. I just can't seem to I can't seem to do anything to make this part consistent. Other than consistently failing. I think part of the trouble is I'm so tired out by the time I get here from the rest of the stage. I'm not functioning at a high enough capacity any longer to learn and retain new information. The skin on bone-in chicken thighs. I like those a lot at least. I get the leg quarters usually. The bone-in, skin on. The thigh and the drumstick. That's what I usually get. No, I'm... Oh, I'm not gonna make it past here. Walking is 2 miles an hour, crawling is 3. I've beaten that Grim Reaper before. It's just a matter of, it's not really too bad, but you have to stand in the exact right place, and I just don't remember where it is. Your legacy awaits until the power is turned off. Yeah. Alright, well, let's spin the wheel again. This is the spin for the other half of Scooby-Doo Mystery. Anything but 9 will do. 8, which we've already landed on 9. But that's fine. No, we haven't. Because we haven't had this one before. I misremembered. Oh. Alright, well this is gonna be rough. 8 is the extreme habanero. This one's gonna be rough. This is the hottest thing on the wheel by far. Yeah, Isaac's always got quite the look of surprise. Oh yeah, the extreme is definitely hotter than kicking. Yeah, no backseating my hot sauce now. Let's fill it up. Oh my goodness. You think at first maybe it won't be so bad this time. And then it grows. Oh my goodness. I don't think I'm going to get the hiccups this time, at least. It's just, it's just painful. It doesn't even taste like anything. It's just a raw chemical burn. It's like having varnish remover on your tongue. It's just an acid burn. Someone should send this clip to Frownie's doctor and see what she thinks. I don't think it would get a stamp of approval. I think I'm about as good as I'm gonna get. It wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad as it's been to me before. If I don't get the hiccups, I get off pretty light. Because having to be on fire and having to deal with that is really annoying. Alright, we're going to make one more attempt, and we'll do one more spin. My windows are messed up on my computer screen. I assume that's a clip EpiPen. If I'm correct, thank you for that. Can you imagine being a doctor that insists on finding everything out in their own way? We had one night where we had a long run of jokes about that topic on the stream one night. EpiPen, where the chat was imagining what it would be like to have me for a doctor. Dr. Frownie, are you sure you don't want a second opinion? No backseating. Aren't you at least going to read a medical textbook? No manuals. Why do jump and attack have to be reversed in this game? Why? It's consistently terrible. It never gets any better. My mouth is still on fire. You know, I think the axe is the best weapon because the fireball does more damage, but you throw it more slowly. I think the axe doesn't do as much damage, but you can throw more of them way more quickly. So I think it's the better weapon. What are those stones made out of? The sun? Whatever substance they're made from, it's my kryptonite is what it is. Maybe it's nostalgia, if you could call it that, but at least Dr. Evil always felt like something was happening, even if it was all painful. Did Dr. Evil always feel like something was happening? I think there was a night I played that game for 6 hours and didn't beat a single level. You gotta try and beat this game damageless. I think this might be. I'm not sure a tool-assisted run of this game is possible damageless. I was gonna say, this might be the hardest game to do a damageless run, in the entire, history of video games. Did Frownie beat the game? No way, Chozo. I haven't even matched my PB tonight. If anything, I've made anti-progress. All I've done is not make it as far as I've been in the past and get worse at the game. I think is all I've done. You chose this over Lost Vikings. You've done this to yourself. Did I not start playing this before you recommended Lost Vikings? I don't remember. I've been recommending it for like a year or so now. Maybe not then. Yeah, you know what? I think you first mentioned Lost Vikings when I was playing that Ice Age game, which I still haven't finished and haven't forgotten about. I think that's when Lost Vikings came up, so that would have been way before this. I'll have to finish Ice Age in December. I was close to an extra life. Lost Vikings is an actual good game. You deserve one. You picked this over finishing Ice Age. Well, kind of. I stopped playing Ice Age because December ended. I was playing it for the holiday season. And once it kind of passed and I wasn't finished with the game, I was like, well, we'll have to wrap it up later, and then I just never did. I don't usually forget the things I don't finish, though. Because there's always a part of me that, like... It's always a part of me that, like, remembers and whispers to me every now and then as I'm trying to fall asleep at night. You still haven't beaten even Evil Knievel. Hey, Greg, welcome in. Good to see you. What has to end to stop playing this game? My madness. I have to finally come to my senses and give up on jank video games once and for all. That's the only thing that will make me stop with this one. We know when they invent a cure for jank. No, I was supposed to duck, not jump. That was the run of my life. I was doing so well. I've actually done that well before. I think I've made it to and beaten that boss with this many lives in my pocket before. Cool. Can't stand this game. See how that platform just robs me? Over and over again. Playing jank video games is your thing, though. Yeah, I mean, I would have to cease to be me, right? The thing is, I wasn't so laser focused on playing trash at the very start of the stream. I don't really know how this developed. I guess I didn't have. I guess I wasn't I wasn't so extreme in a lot of my personality traits when I started this stream. The stream has basically just slowly amplified all of my worst qualities. Hit the wrong button there, and it was almost devastating. Frownie and hide. Play Cheeky Cheeky Boys on April Fool's Day. No, I hate this game. Alright, we're more or less tied to my PB now. That's more or less how it goes whenever I get here. Turn around, what are you doing? That's as far as I can get, and I don't know how to get past that third dragon at all. That's my PB, I just tied it. It took all night, but I finally made it there. What made them think this game was ready to be released? Alright, one more spin. This is our last banked spin. We're finally caught up. This is our spin for SOS on the Super Nintendo. Which I still need to go back and try and get a good ending in that. We beat it, but I got the bad ending. Number 5. Have we had that one tonight? Nope. Number 5 is Sweet Jalapeno. I think this will be fine. I think this is going to be a very, smooth way to end the sauces for the night. That was just a half a cracker. I don't know why I put it back in the box. I should eat that. It's not going to become a whole cracker by waiting in the box. Is this even a hot sauce at all? This sweet jalapeno sauce tastes like nothing. It just tastes like vinegar. I think that's all it is. I think it's just pure vinegar. But not even that. It's not even as abrasive as that would be. It's like, I guess it's like watered down vinegar. I think your tongue is still numb from the last one. That's probably true. I probably can't taste anything after that other one. Games are like muscles. Do 25 push-ups every day, and then one day you wake up and you can do 25, and then 30, then 50. Alright, my friends. Well, I think that's going to be our stream for the night. I didn't make any progress. I did time my PB. And I don't know when we'll play this again. I'll try to give it one more night sooner rather than later, but I don't know. I don't know when it's going to be. I just don't like this game. I want to beat it, but I dislike it so much. It's hard to spend the time it takes. And then I know I only make it worse on myself. But I'm going to try and do at least 2 more streams this week. On Tuesday, we're going to play Disaster Report, make some progress in that. And on Thursday, we're going to play Chakan, the Forever Man, and try to make progress in that. That game is kind of like this. I like that game more, but it's just as difficult to beat. So, we'll see if I make any progress in Chakan. And maybe a stream on Friday. Don't hold your breath for that one. I'm not even going to know until like 7 or 8 Friday night whether or not I'm going to be able to stream. It's more likely not. But I've been doing so few streams lately. If it's at all possible, I want to make it happen. But I think it's less likely. It's more likely to not than to. But we'll see. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, VHS, and I'll send you that. I'll send you that invite shortly after we raid out. Thank you, Pokemons. Thank you, Greg. Let's get our raid rolling. I'm gonna send this over to Sark. Sark's playing a game I can't really watch because I want to play it someday too. He's working on Ape Escape 3. I liked Ape Escape 1 a lot, so I at least want to play 2, and I imagine I will also want to play 3. Unless 2 is horrible and ruins the series for me. But I liked 1 a whole lot, so I'm hopeful for the rest of them. But if you're not avoiding spoilers for this game, then Sark streams are always a good time. Alright, so it should be the same time period every night. One more time, Disaster Report Tuesday, Chakan Thursday, and maybe a stream on Friday. Probably not, but maybe. And that's gonna be it. My friends, thank you very much for being here. We had a very satisfying victory in Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and at least I didn't get worse at Dragon's Lair, I guess. But be well until I get to see you again, and hopefully that'll be soon. We're all done for tonight. It's time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.